Morning. It is Tuesday. It's Tuesday, June 4th. Kyle and I have been on a show together. It feels like in forever. But Kyle's in Austin, Texas at DMSC. I'm back here in Syracuse. We're talking about record auto sales, Ford's amazing new building, and the price of stamps. If that doesn't sound exciting, we'll do our best to make it exciting. It's like watching grass grow. Except it seems to grow faster than grass these days.
It's like kind of an interesting story, and there's some fun data points. But when you say it
when it came out of my mouth, I was like, "Boy, do we have a riveting one today!"
The price of stamps. This one's gonna crush on TikTok.
I feel all the grandmas across the country lean in.
Unbelievable.
Oh man! Hey,
it's good to see you. I feel like I haven't talked to you in like I don't know.
We haven't. It's actually probably been a week.
Right. Yeah.
Which is a long time.
Last Tuesday.
I went on an anniversary trip, and then like you were in Austin, and we both had some time with Michael Cirillo.
Yep.
By the way, we came up with the best name for his motorcycle shop yesterday on the show.
Oh no.
Yeah, MC. Motorcycle. And then I was like MC squared. I was like, and when you sell electric motorcycles, it'll be like E equals MC squared. It was a brilliant moment.
Oh my goodness. What a moment.
So we're not going to see him again. He's just opening. He posted a picture of him on a motorcycle today.
He posted a picture of his motorcycle. I was like, what a baller.
We got him going. Hey, you're in Austin. There lots going on there at the PASH event.
Look, what is the deal? Is really good. Well, one, this event is very specifically tailored to what's going on in the marketing landscape, and the conversations have been really good. Obviously everybody's talking about a CDP and what, for the last couple of years, CDP talk has kind of been coming into the forefront, but there's still a lot of questions around it. Some of the larger groups are implementing CDPs and having a lot of trouble doing so. It's taking them a year, 18 months to really wrap their hands around.
And this is well-resourced, dedicated staff.
Exactly. So it's not something to be taken lightly. So that's been great. And then actually a lot around identity resolution, authenticated users, logged in users. So I'm geeking out over here because, that's that's some of my favorite stuff. But, obviously Brian, Glenn, the PCG team always put on a stellar event. They have great food, and Austin's a really fun town. So it's been great.
There you go. I don't know if this is true, but I think you may very well have been the first one to ever say the 3-letter CDP from a stage at DMSC. Just going to say that a couple of years ago.
We could research it. Let's see.
We could, because when I remember when you saying it, everybody be like,
That was on the panel. That's right.
It was. I'm just putting that out there. You were fresh out of the dealership back then.
Let's see what happens. We'll see if that's.
Oh, hey, just want to let you know, I've been seeing a lot of people posting about these. Don Hall, probably the most recent post of some ASOTU content just yesterday. He's like, I love my ASOTU families, what Don Hall, the chairman of the VADA, said. That made my heart so warm this morning when I woke up. But all the breakout sessions, all the main stage sessions are now live on our YouTube channel. You can go to asotube.com, ASOTU.be, or just go to YouTube and search ASOTU. You'll find it. And you can watch.
I was watching someone yesterday watch a session on their computer in a break between sessions here. So I know that people are getting value out of these sessions. They were really great conversations. You're gonna. I'm trying
to drop in and see them. You and I didn't get to see a lot of the sessions because we were moderating another one, and so I was watching the one with you, and Bob Hollinshead, Brian Kramer, and Joel Bossum, and it was unbelievable.
What a ride!
It was unbelievable. Go check that one out if you haven't checked that one out. But we're going to keep releasing these drip feed and some micro content on LinkedIn. If you don't follow us on LinkedIn, that's a great place to get a lot of this content on the drip. Go to LinkedIn, follow ASOTU, and there's a lot of conversation going on there. Let's talk about some news. It's been a while. We have some fun stuff today, though. Automakers are reporting strong U.S. light vehicle sales gains for May with a combined 10% growth among the 5 reporting automakers led by Toyota, Hyundai, and Kia. No surprise, with the SAAR surpassing 16 million for the first time this year. That's encouraging. Wow. Sales climbed 16% for Toyota to 216,000 vehicles with a significant boost from hybrid and electric models, comprising, get this, 39% of their sales had a battery in it.
I'm literally shocked.
I could tell. I've never heard you speechless like that before.
That's incredible. I mean, everybody's been targeting this 30%, electric or hybrid, and
39, baby.
Toyota's just like, done that, you know.
Yeah, I like when everyone's like, they're behind. They're like, hello. And Honda sales rose 6.4% to 127,000 vehicles driven by crossovers like the CR-V and the HR-V. Despite their EV sales went down, Hyundai hit a 12% increase, significant gains from eco-friendly models through some top sellers like the Elantra and the Tucson actually saw declines. Kia, this is the strong one. Sales are up by 5% with Sportage and Forte leading the gains. Oh, I thought we had an EV number in here for Kia. I'll have to get back to that. Subaru is up 7% with the Crosstrek and Forester showing strong growth. The electric Solterra sales surged 255% year over year.
Wow. Okay, Subaru.
I don't know how many sold last year.
They went from 3 to 5. It was nuts.
I know. I don't know what that number is. I was like, that's suspiciously high. The seasonally, so the SAAR did hit 16 million, the highest since July of 2023, showing some positive market trends. Here's a quote from the CEO of Hyundai Motor America. Randy Parker said, "There's a lot of negativity in the marketplace right now regarding EVs, which I find really amazing because EVs have been with us for quite a long time and they aren't going away. EVs are the future."
Yeah, everybody is pointing to the downturn in pace of growth.
Yep.
But it doesn't mean that there's not still growth.
Overall growth.
Right. Rapid pace has slowed down, but like you get that with every bell curve. So I think, these automakers, like everybody's balancing, are we seeing EVs? We're not seeing EVs decline. We're just seeing them not grow at the pace that they have in the past. And we'll see that for a little while until you get like charging adoption and
I'll tell you, man,
into others. But
I'll tell you,
drove one last week.
Again, this is the third time that I've rented an EV. And all 3 times, I don't know why, whenever I go to Florida, I rent an EV. It just feels like the right thing to do. But I was in a Polestar 2, and dude, I'm hooked. I got to say, like I was in that, I was like, I love driving. I love driving this car. And I figured out a few new charging things. I charged it at the house and I did a public charging thing. But like charging, if you can figure that situation out, it is just, to me, a superior driving experience. Unless, you're real like going for a Porsche or something that's like supposed to be that.
If you're going to get regular a Porsche, you're going to get a Taycan,
I know it. But every day, like driving experience, I love it. Literally, I got back home in my ICE vehicle and I was like, oh, this thing feels like slow. And they're not slow. But the EV experience is fantastic. You just sit in, it just works. It starts right up when it doesn't start. You just sit down and it's like, we're going to do a thing.
And what's on? It's just, here we go. Keys
AC
in here,
starts
ready
up.
to go.
Yep. I know it. So fun, but good news, man. It's good to see some good news overall. SAAR, sales increasing. Obviously, inventory is tracking that. Very, very encouraging. Speaking of encouraging things.
Stop. Segue.
Time. This is such a cool story coming out of Detroit. Ford undertook a massive $950 million. Yes, that's almost $1 billion. Renovation of historic Michigan Central Station. Back in 2018, they wanted to create a mobility hub and attract tech-savvy employees. The project faced a ton of challenges, like a pandemic. Also, one of the challenges, reclaiming stolen artifacts from like clocks and these big things that people had just kind of pillaged and stole from there. They actually had to pump, I think it was like 3 million gallons of water out of the basement. They basically bought this 18-story train station for $90 million to house teams working on an autonomous and EV technology. The 6-year project involved 3,100 workers. They ended up reclaiming most of the stolen artifacts, including an original clock piece that was kind of like delivered by 2 people. They just, it's like, you guys just brought it back. Thank you for bringing it back. Right. So cool. They also had to negotiate with someone who owned another piece, and they said they bought it on his terms. So
I'm sure they did.
They went all out. One of the pillars, like there was some stone damage, and they found the original quarry where the stone came from, and had like an expert mason put 400 hours into reforming a column to match the other column. So like literally,
I'm so happy about this. It's unbelievable.
It's so good. They said, this is going to be important to draw new tech talent. They have lots of plans for the building, including a hotel in the higher floors. And to mark the station's reopen, this is the cherry on top. They are hosting like a star-studded event featuring music legends from Detroit. It's executive produced by Eminem. It's going to feature Jack White, Diana Ross, Big Sean. It's going to be live streamed on Peacock and released as an NBC special like show on Sunday night. Let's go.
Totally watching that. Absolutely watching that. First of all, I saw the story break and saw the pictures and stuff. So cool. Like, and to take something that was steeped in mobility historically, right, and turn it like kind of like a turn of century mobility thing and turn it into like this net new mobility hub is so, it's actually so auto in its core. Like it actually like
so good.
Like you think about how retail auto is restorative in local communities. They're doing it at the OEM level. Like I cannot think of a better way to express the retail in the auto industry's impact on culture in the US. And you start like and then you start like going down the line. We've been talking about this Ford University. I was just talking to Ford Direct yesterday about some of the things that they're doing. Like there's some really cool stuff coming out of this organization over the last 5 to 6 years for all the things that you're seeing in the news for, Jim Farley really kind of like playing this larger than life character. You're still seeing a through line of like really great innovation and care for the community. I love it.
I was like, I bet we could get an invite to this thing. It's this weekend though. So
no.
It's this weekend. So I don't think we can make it happen, but it's going to be exciting to watch. Bill Ford, grandson or great grandson of Henry Ford, your great grandson, basically said, they're like, why'd you start this in motion? He's like, I got sick of people using this building as an example of the decline of Detroit. It was like in the photos, it was, you know what I mean? Like people, it would always be like the headline about like something bad about Detroit. And then they would picture this building. He's like, I got sick of it. So let's do something about it. And they did.
Let's do something about it.
Don't get in a dealer's way. Don't do it.
Don't do it.
Speaking of don't doing it, but they're doing it. I don't know. I'm really curious how many people are actually going to feel this one.
I don't know. The U.S. Postal Service has received approval to raise first-class mail stamp prices from a grand 68 cents to 73 cents starting July 14th. What an outrage. This hike is part of a broader strategy to address the financial challenges of the USPS. The Regulatory Commission approved the 7.8% increase in mailing prices. Their goal is to get an additional, listen to this, by this move, $44 billion in additional revenue by 2031.
It's a lot of people buying stamps.
A lot of people still buying stamps. I mean, someone's got to send direct mail,
What's the price? What's the price increase? Is 5 cents. All right, I'm going to do some math here. Keep going.
Well, but it also, they have a 25% price hike for high volume shippers using its Parcel Select service. However, mail volume fell 6.1% last year. So U.S. Postmaster General Louis DeJoy paused planned consolidation of the processing network, delaying cost savings of up to $177 million just in cost savings that they're missing out of. Senator Gary Peters, however, emphasized the need for a plan that won't interfere with critical mail service, saying, I will keep pushing DeJoy and the USPS Board of Governors for a plan that won't interfere with critical mail service.
All right. We got a couple things here I'm itching to say. All right. Number one, you see my calculator. This is what $44 billion. So you got to turn your phone sideways. Look at that. That's a lot what $44 billion looks like. How do you do that? I mean, and it's only a 5-cent increase.
That's a lot of mail.
We divide that by 0.05, and that's how many like stamps we were looking at. It seems like the right way.
There was a 25% price hike for high volume shippers.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
There's some other stuff in there.
There is. Okay. Obviously, government institutions are not the bastion of operational efficiency. I feel like I know the person that can fix this whole thing. All right. If you had to put one person in place to fix all this from the auto industry,
Steve Greenfield.
Oh, I think he would get too frustrated.
Probably.
You know angry. You need a real patient man. I would put Ed Roberts in the seat.
He just sits there and goes,
Ed Roberts in the seat. I think make him Postmaster General. We're going to fix this whole thing. It's going to make a great social media
all
short.
The direct mail companies are going to hate it. It's going to be real rough.
I know. Hey, the price of stamps. I think but this is one of those things, like you think of how things change and evolve. Price of stamps used to be like a benchmark indicator of so much. And now it's largely irrelevant.
Well,
except for a way to get.
Think about sending a 9,000 customer mail drop as an auto dealer and what this does to like because if there's okay, so the high volume shipper is seeing a 25% increase. You're about to see a 25, maybe 30%, because they're going to look for the revenue on top of that increase on your direct mail shipping prices.
On your postage.
Time back to the CDP, saving money.
Right. Where's the value? It's always changing. It's always changing. Yep. Well, thanks for giving us the skinny from Austin. How long are you there for? When are you leaving?
Oh, I'm out today, baby.
He's out today. Say hi to our friends at DMSC and the Pashas. We will see you here tomorrow.